The cold iron hull of the USS Harder slid down the ways at the Groton, Connecticut shipyards on 19 August 1942. Yet another sleeker and faster submarine of the new Gato class boats, built for the action-packed warfare wreaking havoc in the Pacific theater of the Second World War. But today's story of the USS Harder isn't just another story of a submarine in World War II. No. You see, from the moment Commander Samuel D. Dealey took command, she became a legend. Dealey, you see, a quiet Texan with a steady smile and nerves of cold iron, had served in the old SS boats, learning the trade the hard way. His crew adored him for his calm under fire proficiency, his dry humor, and his sixth sense of how he seemed to know what the enemy would do, well, before they even did it. With the first patrol in June of 1943, Harder's baptism of fire came off the coast of Honshu, Japan, where Dealey's patience and skill were tested by unreliable torpedoes and merciless Japanese escorts. You see, when a premature detonation gave away their position, Harder was pummeled by depth charges and jammed in the mud on the sea floor for 4 harrowing hours. Lily's calm voice over the intercom that day kept panic at bay. And when the Harder finally broke free and she limped home, one engine dead and one Japanese Maru sunk as well. It wasn't much by its later standards throughout the war, but the patrol that day earned Dealey his first Navy Cross and gave his crew the confidence they would need for the fight that definitely lay ahead. Back off the island of Honshu for their second war patrol, Harder and her 79 crewmen pushed even harder. Despite torpedoes that would often misfire, or even fail to hit the target at all, they sank the cargo ship Yoko Maru and the freighter Kashisan Maru. And during nearly 48 hours of relentless depth charging, 59 explosions in total. Batteries nearly dead, hull plates groaning from the sounds of the war, the men whispered prayers as the Harder clawed her way to safety. She surfaced, battered, very battered, but alive, and Dealey would earn his second Navy Cross for the engagement. Now a veteran skipper, Dealey and the Harder became part of a 3-man wolf pack that now hunted the Mariana Islands. He sank the Hoku Maru and the Udo Maru, then finished off the stubborn one carrier, the Nico Maru, after 11 torpedoes and a day-long chase through storms and seas. The victory sent the crew into wild tears. Harder returned to Pearl Harbor, a hero, where fellow submariners nicknamed her the Hit 'em Harder, and then sailed for overhaul with a new set of engines ready for even more vengeance. Now operating near Woolley, Harder performed one of the war's most daring rescues. Spotting a downed Navy pilot Surrounded by enemy fire, Dealey ran Harder's bow onto a reef while his men fought through surf and sniper bullets to haul the aviator aboard. All three rescuers, Lieutenant Samuel Logan, Francis Bryan, and J.W. Thomason, earned the Navy Cross that day. Days later, Dealey coolly sank the destroyer, the Hazukai, radioing the simple line that became immortal among his men. Expanded 4 torpedoes and 1 Jap destroyer. It became his 4th Navy Cross, and Harder's growing legend became sealed. When the Harder sailed from Fremantle, Australia on the 26th of May 1944, the war had changed. You see, American codebreakers had learned that Japan was desperate for destroyers, the guardians of its convoys and carriers, against the American Wolfpack. And for the first time, U.S. submarines were ordered to hunt destroyers down instead of avoiding them. And when the Navy asked who was up for the task, well, there was only one man and crew that could even come close. Sam Dealey and the crewmen of the USS Harder. Operating off of the atoll of Tawi Tawi, near the heart of the Japanese fleet, the Harder found her first prey on the moonlit night of June 6, 1944. The Japanese destroyer, the Minazuki, spotted the sub and charged, guns flashing, depth charges dropping, with booming fire. Now, any sane man would have dived, avoiding the oncoming barrage of depth charges, but Dealey, well, it was different. And he stayed on the surface. Turning his stern toward the enemy, he fired 3 torpedoes, a shot known as down the throat. The second and third torpedo hit squarely on the spine of the Minazuki, and the ship vanished into the Harder's Book of Legends in a ball of fire as her own depth charges exploded beneath her. An hour later came the Hayanami. Same tactic, same outcome. 1 torpedo contacted the ship's spine, and the destroyer split in 2, vanishing beneath the waves in seconds. By June 8th, the Harder was stalking multiple destroyers outside of Tawi Tawi, a suicidal move because the Japanese fleet was only 6 miles away. But the Harder fired a spread that blew the destroyer, the Tanakaze, apart, and a thunderclap that rolled Harder sideways. While sideways, she attacked again, firing another down-the-throat shot at another charging destroyer. The torpedo struck the bow dead on. The enemy erupted into a boiling column of flame. 5 destroyers in a single attack. No submarine in history has matched it since. The Japanese believed that entire Wolfpack was attacking from all directions, and they panicked, holding their fleet from anchorage early, in a move that would later change the timing of the Battle of the Philippine Sea. When the Harder returned to Darwin, General Douglas MacArthur personally awarded Dealey the Army Distinguished Service Cross on the deck of the Harder. Even for the now tested by fire skipper, the moment was overwhelming. He had led his men through hell, and he won. But the triumph came at a price. You see, Dealey was gone, exhausted, and he was haunted by the faces of the men he'd sent into danger. Rear Admiral Ralph Christie urged him to take leave. Dealey refused, saying, "One more patrol, sir. I'll bring the new men along and teach them the ropes. So on August 5th of 1944, the Harder sailed again on her final voyage, leading Wolfpack along with the USS Hato and the USS Hawkeye into the waters off the Philippine Islands. For weeks, they ravaged Japanese shipping, and on 21 of August, they attacked a convoy near Mindoro, sinking 4 ships in one ferocious fight. 2 days later, they caught 3 Japanese escort ships, the Matsuwa, the Sado, and the Hiburi, and sent them all to the bottom of the sea. Then came the 24th of August, off of Daysol Bay. 2 enemy vessels appeared on radar, the Japanese escort ship CD-22 and the patrol ship PB-102, an old American destroyer once known as USS Stewart that had been refitted by the Japanese. Fate, you see, had arranged a grim reunion. In a later report by Frank Haylert, commander of the USS Hake, he watched as Dealey's periscope rose. Harder closed in on CD-22, fired 2 torpedoes, and missed. CD-22 swung hard and unleashed a full pattern of 15 depth charges. The sea erupted. Then, silence. Only oil, cork, and shattered planking floated to the surface. Harder and their 79 men were gone, claimed by the sea that they had once mastered.